Good morning, good evening. It is currently, oh my gosh, that was a mistake. I left my Apple Watch on. I apologize if this is fighting for focus, and also I'm really tired, so I don't even know if this is in focus, but it is currently Wednesday, nearly 9:40, and today I've actually made a dent in the Thursday Murder Club. So this actually is really fun. It's just a comedic murder mystery, and it follows just a group of retirees. Honestly, it is really fun. I'm on chapter 52. Some of these chapters are really short, actually. So I am on page 161. I've been audiobooking this mostly during the day since I am working this week and I don't have a lot of time to eyeball read. But that being said, I'm just having such a good time because it's funny. Like, it has that British humor that I just genuinely enjoy. But on top of that, it just feels as if I'm scrolling TikTok or something because you're just randomly bouncing from scene to scene. Sometimes they don't connect until like 2 or 3 chapters later. And again, like I said, they're not long. So it's like you're almost having a conversation with your friend. You get sidetracked and then you come back, and then you get sidetracked again and then you come back. So it's kind of like that. And being in the heads of some of these characters is hilarious because, like, it's so relatable. It's so relatable because they're like, wow, this big, like, exciting thing is happening, but also, like, I think I kind of like this guy, but I shouldn't like this guy, or, I could stand to lose some weight. Like, just little things that is just so funny. It's so funny, and I'm loving seeing the different colors of the characters coming out and just their motivations, their interests. You're mostly in Joyce's point of view, and I love how the information we're getting from her is mostly like diary entries, and she's like, I decided to keep a journal, and like that's basically what this whole thing is. And at one point she was just like, if anyone reads this journal, you probably think I'm obsessed with murder, but I'm not. So, in that case, let me just tell you about this other random information about my day. And it's just really cute. And yeah, I'm really, really enjoying this story. Well, hello. It is Saturday, and there's construction outside. Oh my gosh. It's Saturday. There's construction outside, so I apologize if you can hear that, and my hair is being silly. But it's also Valentine's Day, and I got myself a gift. I got myself a book journal, and this is from Work Life. It's a company here in Korea, and this just seems so cute because I was looking for like a book journal or whatever, and it's basically a book filled with pages, like a 2-sided spread, where you can put the stats and everything about the book, your like memorable quotes and things like that. But then also this side you can just take notes, which I thought was really cool, especially if you're not someone who's like avidly writing down every single little thing about the book. I believe there's space for 100 books, but on top of that, at the very beginning of the journal, let me get closer to you a little bit. At the very beginning of the journal, you have like my picks, so books you want to read. I think they give you, I didn't even count. They give you 2 pages or 4 pages of this. And then you have your index about like which book is what, so you don't have to like scroll. Oh my gosh, wow. Era of technology. You don't have to flip through them too much, and you can just find whatever it is that you've read. Then you have a reading challenge page. So it's a double spread of 50, and you get, I'll show you actually here. So it's just 50 for each challenge, and then you get 1, 2, 3, 4 double pages of that. So 200 book challenges if you want to. And then you have a book tracker, and it has 6 per double spread. And I guess it's for a month period technically, or 30-day period, or 30 entries, I guess you'd say. It wasn't that expensive. I think it was 22,000 won. You have an author's map if you want to notate where you're reading from. You also, you have 2 author's maps actually, just so it doesn't get too crowded. Then you have some stats pages, which is kind of interesting. So you have books read, investment, so how much you paid for things, pages read or days read, or both. And then you have like favorite genre or whatever, like if you want to make a little circle graph, which I think is really cute, especially because I usually track this in like Fable anyway. I mean, I could always just like transfer the information over. And I also like how you can specify the kind of book that you read or the format. So we have paperback, ebook, and audiobook as well. So yeah, I got that for myself today. So happy Valentine's Day to me. I will also be reading a lot this weekend, and I'll be sharing with you my thoughts. Right now, let me reach behind you. I'm actually in the middle of Daisy Jones and the Six. It's really good so far. It is really good, and it's very fast paced. It's very easy to get into. Since I've been in a reading slump, I think this has been perfect. I actually finished Thursday Murder Club on a Thursday, oddly enough. And that one was really good too. Very like twisty turny and entertaining in a way where I just felt like I was getting to know a whole bunch of people in this small village. And it wasn't scary. It wasn't like overly suspenseful, but it was intriguing. So you want to read more. So I was able to finish that within a few days before my library hold was released for the audio, because I was tandem reading it. And then same with this. I am also listening to the audiobook and following along. And with this one, this is due this afternoon, like just before I have to go to the gym for my PT session. Can you believe it? I'm going to the gym on Valentine's Day. But anyways, I'm actually going to go to the cafe really soon. So I'll bring this along with me and play around with it and show my friend, because she might be there too. I think I texted her and I think she was going there. And yeah, I think this is so adorable. And then it also has a like string, but I don't typically use those. I usually just use sticky tabs. Oh, and okay, this is a little detail, but I appreciate how this seems to have been like bound in a way. I don't know if this will focus at all. But sometimes these are frayed already, like before you even use the book, and this seems like it was sealed a little bit. Usually what I do is just put a little bit of super glue on the end of them, and that just keeps it from fraying, and it's perfectly fine. But yeah, these are what I'm gonna play around with today, I guess. And then I think my next one, since I've been really into her books, you're on my book cart / side table. I'm probably going to go into Malibu Rising as well, because this one is kind of overlapping in setting, and I hear that there's reference to Daisy Jones in this book. I forgot which one was published when, but I love these covers. Like, I love the light leak situation, and oh my gosh, it's so pretty. So pretty. And I'm really wanting to read things that make me feel like I'm not in winter. Although it's not too cold today, which is so great. Yeah, this is in the 80s. This is in the 70s. And then... oh my gosh, I just had a blank. I was like going to say something else about her books, but completely blanked out. Anyway, this is what we're going to deal with. Also, actually, okay, so I promise I'm almost done. I have this little planner journal thing. It's a planner, but I kind of use it more as a journal. I typically like to use like each of these double spreads as like a weekly reflection, and I think what I actually want to do is use it as a reading log or hobby log for right now, because I have a bigger book that I use just for like my general thoughts, but I think this would be cute because I can just carry it around. It's not too bulky. Put like how many pages I read or which book I read, but this could be more about like the actual like detailed thoughts about the book. Hello, so I'm in the coffee shop right now, and I just read for an hour. And so far, I'm in probably the slowest part of the book. I'm on the Aurora section. And because I'm following along in the audiobook, I just realized that that section is, I think, 3 hours long, which is crazy. Okay, so I am really enjoying it though. It's very realistic in the sense of like I could totally picture all of this nonsense going down, and I am just getting a little tired of this section only because there's not a lot of the other characters in at this point. Like it's just Billy and Daisy. And now they're in a very precarious spot because they're dabbling or they're skating very close to the line of, you know, just doing things that they shouldn't. So, both individually and with each other. So, yeah. But I'm really liking it. I will finish it today, even though I think my audiobook, no, I know, my audiobook is due at like 1:30. So I don't think I'll listen to much more for now, just because I want a little bit of a break. Hello, I apologize for the messy background, but I'm drying clothes and things like that. But I just got back from the gym and I was able, thank goodness, to finish the Aurora section of this book just before I went to the gym. So we are now on page 301. That's the start of Aurora World Tour. And yeah, it is messy, but in a very it makes sense that it's this messy kind of way. I'm interested to see, because now I believe that the next sections are going to be a lot shorter than it has been. So that's my understanding. The last 3 sections, I think there's 3, are going to be much shorter. So I'm hoping that that works out really well. And what's interesting is, it's funny, like at the very bottom we have like Reese Witherspoon that says like, I fell head and over heels for Daisy and devoured this in one day. This is definitely a book that you can read in one day, even as like a slower reader. Granted, I am listening to the audiobook, but I feel like even if I was just straight up reading this, I would have been able to read this in one sitting, because it's just that easy to flow through personally. However, I don't particularly like Daisy. Like, I don't dislike her, but she's definitely not my favorite character right now. Neither is Billy. But the thing is, like, none of them are perfect. And I think it's just what makes it interesting. I think I admire Camilla a bit, in just the fact that so far she's just been so determined. And I wouldn't say she's right in being this determined, but she's just determined to hold her man up to a certain standard, and frankly it's helped him stay out of major trouble. Not all trouble, but major trouble. But then again, she also hasn't been perfect either, so it's just 2 very imperfect people trying to hold themselves together. And then we had a part where I don't know if this would be considered a spoiler, but Daisy gets married at some point, and so far I'm like, that just seemed kind of pointless, that particular plot point. So I'm like, why are you even here? like I don't understand this part. So anyways, that's that. And then I do really like her best friend. Gosh, I can't even remember her name. I really like Simone too, because she just wants to be there for Daisy so much and so hard that it's not that she'll do anything, but she's like, okay, there are certain things that she's like, all right, we're cutting you off. Like, you're an adult, obviously, but at the same time, you need to do what you said that you're gonna do. So I do appreciate that, and especially because she's busy with her own life. She's like, she can't babysit Daisy. So like, whatever's within her own power, she's definitely being active in her friendship with Daisy. So I appreciate that. Yeah, I just find this whole thing entertaining, and I am looking forward to finishing this today and possibly listening to the playlist for this book that was from the TV show, and maybe watch the TV show at some point. yeah, so that's this book. I have a book on Kobo that I'm going to read next after this. And then, like I said, I might go into Malibu Rising too, because I just like the atmospheric vibe, essentially. Like, it's not anything I would ever want to be involved with ever, but it's just interesting. It's like a stepping out of my own life kind of situation. So, yeah. Hello. I just finished Daisy Jones and the Six. It was really, really good. I have to say, it's probably a 4.5 stars from me, from my initial like reaction, but I have to say Taylor Jenkins Reid's writing is always very impactful, because all of her people feel so real that you're just like, wow, you know, people probably go through this, like, in varying styles, but people probably go through this. And oh my gosh, it was so good. I still stand by the characters that I really liked. I do appreciate the growth of all of the characters, because, well, except for one, he just annoyed me the whole time. If you've read the book, you probably have that same character in mind. But for the most part, all of these characters like grew. They really clung to the essence of like what living a good life was, and realizing their limits and acknowledging that, and not actually pushing past that and wrecking their lives even more. They all really, really tried to live a good life. And if these people were real, of course, I feel like if I was really into a band and I thought they were so successful, I would be like, oh, come on, like, just push on, you know, a little bit more, because selfishly I would like their music. But the reality is they're all just people too. They just are really good at their job, and some jobs are just more public than others. And even we get a choice to change our jobs, you know, most of the time. Like, if you're very blessed to be able to do so, even you can change your job when it's not serving you, when it's toxic, when it's not the right thing for you anymore. And I did appreciate how she allowed the characters to have that choice, or at least, you know, changing the flavor of their job, so to speak, because some of them stayed in the music industry, but they just did something different. So yeah, this was such a good experience. I'm very glad to have read this. Now at this point, gosh, I'm shedding. Ugh. Now at this point, I'm like, okay, what do I read? Also, where do I put this? I think I have to stack this up. I probably have to stack this here, because I don't really have much other space right now. So I finally finished, so she can go there. Oh, that's so messy. Ugh. She can go there. All these on my shelves, I finished, well, with the exception of this one. I feel like now my Korean is getting a little bit better. I might be able to understand that more, but yeah, these are all books that I finished. This is a crafting book that my mom just gave me for Valentine's Day. She sent it all the way over, which I thought was so sweet. Read all of these, really like them. Read all of these. And now I have 1, 2, 3. Technically I've read this already, but I want to reread it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7 plus like 40 something in this Kindle. Oh my gosh. But okay, let me zoom out before I flip it back to myself. Oh my goodness, because we don't need my face completely zoomed in there. All right, so now that I'm kind of kneeling on the floor, I am going to finish my coffee. I'm going to take a little break from reading and decide what I want to get into, because I want to ride the high of reading, because I actually am quite enjoying it. So do I go into Malibu Rising? Do I want that kind of drama again? Do I go into something else? I'm not sure. I mean, I do have my other library book that is due in like 10 days. So that one is Paris is Always a Good Idea. So that one's pretty good too. Well, it's decent so far. I don't know actually how good it is, but yeah. Also, I kind of want to go get dinner. So I'm going to text my friend, see if she wants to get dinner, and if not, I'll go to get dinner and enjoy myself. Ugh. And yeah, that's kind of it. Oh my gosh, my apartment. I mean, I guess you can't really tell, but I can tell. It's so messy. We're not messy, but just like disorganized, you know? It's a small space. It's a office style apartment, so it's quite small. Okay, I'm rambling now. Let's check back in once I find something else to read.